Hello. Today I am on the floor in my kitchen in my pajamas because that is just who I am. That's what my life is right now. I've been starting some seeds, some more seeds, some lettuce, some pak choi, some kale, and red mustard. Just because I think I need more leafy greens. I'd like to have them to harvest, to eat. I should have started them a lot earlier, but oh well. It's October 5th, by the way. And it would have been nice, yeah, to have them started weeks earlier, but I'll do what I can. Now's as good a time as any. I have the hoop house, and I have the planter on the balcony with the hoops that my boyfriend and I made this spring. So I have a cover for the hoops as well for that planter. So I think I can plant some frost hardy vegetables in there, and hopefully they can grow well. Hopefully that keeps them warm enough, at least during the day, so that they can put on some growth. I'll have to see about how I can insulate the bottom. But anyways, that will be another video. For right now, what I figured, or what I've been wanting to do, was split up this German winter thyme. It's actually 3 different plants, and this plant, although it's called German winter thyme, it is hardy to zone 5. I'm a zone 4B here, so I'm just gonna see one of these 3 plants that are in here. I'm gonna put outside in the front, just by the door, so that it's easy to harvest, and hopefully if it's close to the house, it will kind of have the heat of the house to keep it from getting too cold, and hopefully it can survive. And then the other 2 I am just going to pot up into containers while I think more about what I want to do with it. I might bring one into the hoop house and just see how that goes, and one of them maybe I'll just keep in here until next summer. I think I will also take a few sprigs to dry. I have been harvesting, I've been foraging actually for a bunch of other dry ornamentals, just anything I can use. I'd like to make a wreath. I also just have them kind of arranged, I'll show you in a bit, in a nice way for like a dried flower arrangement, and I have other dried flowers hanging too, so we'll just see what I can do with that. But for now, yeah, I'm just gonna take this apart. I am working on some cardboard that I have laid out, some extra ones. It's gonna get dirty, but it's going out into the garden anyways pretty soon, and yeah. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get in this little hole at the bottom and kind of push it out. I'm imagining that the whole thing is just full of roots and pretty dense. I'm just taking some of these roots off of the side so it can fit into the pot better, so that it can have more space for fresh soil. Although I'm taking off a bunch of roots, I know that they'll grow back. It's not so big of a deal. I don't want the super high density of roots that are along the edges here. I'd rather it fill in more evenly in the bigger pot. Could definitely have gone up pot size. Here they are. I'll be keeping these two in these pots over winter. This one, I think I'm gonna pop into the ground as is. It looks like it's a couple, it's maybe a few different plants that are in there. It's all grown together. I figured I'd just put the whole thing in and see what survives. Hopefully the whole thing, and I'll just use this pot for something else. The spot outside I chose for the thyme is just by the house, so hopefully the warmth of the house will keep it the bit warmer that it needs. And this spot also, this whole flower bed is very dry because it's so close to the house. It's very sandy, so I think it's good conditions for thyme to grow, and hopefully it does well here. I also wanted to take the time to harvest my last grow bag of potatoes. Here in Anchorage, I've been told that we can leave our potatoes in the ground until the last frost, and that's really a good time to harvest main crop. But I am hungry for potatoes. These plants are looking bad anyways, so I'm gonna pull them and see what I got. Oh, and this was super funny. As I was going through the potatoes, I found one of Chug's toys, or one of my dog's chews. It's a rawhide chew with the fur and everything, so apologies for showing this if it's kind of gross to you. It's gross to me. It was gross feeling it and realizing that he went and dug through my potato bed and buried it in there. I do remember very clearly that my potatoes had all been dug after I planted them, and I just thought, oh, you know, he was rummaging around. I did not realize that he buried that. He really loved it. He actually got so excited when I gave it to him. It was recommended to me by a friend. And he just kept whining and pacing around, trying to look for a place to hide it, and that's his game. My King Edward potatoes. It wasn't a huge haul. I didn't get so much out of it. I think it was maybe a 30 gallon or 15 gallon. That's a big difference. But I don't know how big it was. Anyways, this is how much I got. It's definitely more than what I planted. And next year I am going to do it in a bigger raised bed, so hopefully we'll get more. It was cool to do. I never took any care of these potatoes. I just kept them in the container on the patio and mostly let the rain water it. I did some watering myself earlier in the summer when it was drier, much more dry. But here's what we got. I just laid them out on a cooling rack and a towel just so I didn't get dirt all over the counter, which there is anyways. I had them in a big saucer that wasn't open from the bottom, and so no air was going in on the bottom, and I had that overnight, and this morning I came to realize there was a bunch of kind of like cottony fibers coming off, some kind of fungus, and I just figured it's too damp. There's too much soil remaining on it for it to dry out and cure like that. This isn't much anyway, so I'm sure we'll go through it pretty quickly in like 2 or 3 meals, unless we make a big batch and just save that. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you a view of that. And as for all the remaining soil from that container that the potatoes grew in, I am definitely going to reuse it. Some of it's going into the compost, but some of it I'm also keeping to go in a new raised bed, a couple of new raised beds that I'm putting in, mostly just to fill it in and bulk it up. I'll be adding nutrients in other ways to the bed, but I will show you those raised beds in another video. For now, thanks for watching. Bye.